In my last video, I built a structure out of plastic and magic sculpt. Now I'm ready to add the figures to it. So let's get at it. All right, I think I've decided on the figures. The new Tamiya late war Germans. Now, what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to convert these a little bit because in Normandy they didn't use the MP44 Sturmgewehrs. So what I'll do is swap out the ammo pouches with the small pouches like this, because I'm going to use this guy, and the other crouching guy. I'm going to convert him too. I may use those arms from that guy on this guy, so I could put either a Car 98 or this rifle here, the late war, I forget what it's called. Oh, the G43. Yeah. So, anyways, that's it. These new figures, I've already taken them out of the plastic. Comes with markings, which are really nice for the Panzerfaust and uniforms. And really interesting the way Tamiya did these. They're like little small models, a lot of parts to put on, but the detail is about as close to resin as you can get. So I'm looking forward to doing these. They're brand new, I haven't built any, so let's get at it. I wanted to use certain figures that I can convert, but the ammo pouches fit right into the bodies, so I'd have to do a lot of conversion. I don't want to do. So now I'm going to end up using this guy, and this guy, because they would be okay for Normandy. Their equipment is what was used in Normandy. So that's okay. That's actually maybe a little bit better. So that's what it's going to be. Okay, the figures are basically built. These are really cool. They're definitely like little models to build because there's a lot of little pieces that fit together and they all either butt together with little joining points or slots. So conversions are really going to be a lot harder on something like this because the pouches and everything are modeled to fit exactly for each figure. You know, so a ammo pouch is curved, you know, to fit exactly in place here. And then the other thing is the hands. They're really interesting. The hands have a top part and a bottom part. So here you see the top of the finger, but there's no underneath. The top, the top of the finger here, but there's no underneath. You have to put that in. So I could glue the bottom part of the hand on the rifle, paint everything, and then put it in. On this figure, his rifle goes up against his body, so I could paint that separately and then put it on, but I hate doing that. I know it's the right thing to do, but I hate doing that. I hate having to glue on parts after they're painted. I just have this mental block. This figure on the box art holds a Tellermine, but I put the multi-grenade in there, and just to be a little different. The MP40s are really cool. Let's get focused here. Very petite, and pretty nice folding stock. Here's a Dragon, doesn't have the folding stock ones. They do have a folding stock, but it's a little bit thicker. I don't know. I mean, the details are adequate on either one. So, but I you know, to me, always going to be just that hair different and a little better. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with the arms, and how to deal with that, and then we'll get at it. And I'm going to start painting. Black primer, and then airbrush highlights. Okay, the figures were painted black first, primed, and then I used my airbrush and just with white acrylic, I went from the top and sprayed down on them good ways, just to get the highlight effect. Last video I talked about spending more time on each figure in the Panzerschreck vignette scene. But when you're doing multiple figures, I guess it's just going to be hard to just do one figure, because then you got all your paints out and you're ready to go. So I'm going to try to preserve my paints and take more time maybe. I think I'm going to do a wet palette for the acrylics. And then the faces are going to be in oils, and I may paint a few other details on the figures in oils, but that's my plan right now. So let's get at it. Started the painting, and what I did is I made a wet palette. It's just parchment paper underneath some paper towel that's wet. Parchment paper is like cookie sheet paper that you bake on. So it works really good. The paint doesn't go through it, but yet it absorbs the water. Keeps everything so I can keep using it, and I can put a top on as I need it. So with the uniform, I used German uniform 085 and just white. The most important thing though was mixing the flat base with it. I didn't use any retarder in this one, and it really made the figures cloth come out really matte, and that's what I want. You want a really matte finish. So when you're doing photographs and stuff like that, you don't get reflections off the uniforms, and then it just really makes it look out of scale, and it just doesn't look like cloth. It just ruins your photograph. So you want as much matte finish as you can get. I mean, dead matte is what you want. Sometimes mine don't come out that way, and at the end I'm like, wow, it's not dead matte, but these are coming out dead matte, and it looks really good. And like I said, I started with the base German uniform, and you know, thinned it fairly well and painted it over, and then started painting the highlights with just a slight difference in shade, and it's come out really good. Later I might try to do some black deep shadows. We'll see how I do that. But everything's coming out good. I've got the helmets, just a couple of pieces of equipment here taped down so I can paint them separately. And then for the Zeblon that this guy's wearing, and the two helmet covers are going to be splinter camouflage. So I purchased XF57 buff from Tamiya, and XF10 flat brown, and XF26 deep green. Those were the colors on the side of the box art for the Tamiya figure. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna paint the camouflage with those three colors. So what I'm gonna do now is just add this to my wet palette just so I can put that on. Okay, this is where I'm at with the figures. I'm gonna paint the camouflage now on the Zeblon, on this guy. They're coming out pretty good. I usually paint the faces first, as I said, but doing it last this time, or close to last. Once I get the artist oils out, then I'll do some detail painting also on the figures. But right now I'm going to use the Tamiya colors back there to do the camo for the splinter. So let's get ahead. All right, here's the progress so far. I've got everything I want to paint in acrylics now, and the rest I'm going to do in artist oils. The faces, any little details, the rifles, things of that nature, any highlighting, washes, I'm going to do with oils. Wow. It's taken me a long time to get this far. Painting figures this size is really a lot of work. And these figures here, they're super detailed, but the detail is so fine that you almost have to paint it on. It's not like a resin figure, but it's very detailed, but it's not like resin where everything sticks up and sticks out and you can see it and paint it. So it's a little different in detail. Very fine detail. Very, very fine detail. So this will finish it up. I'll get the oils out and I'll finish this whole piece up, and I can start on the next one, which I'm kind of excited about. Okay, I'm ready to finish up the painting of these figures and get everything completed here. First thing, gotta have some type of magnification if you're gonna do 35th scale figures. Unless your eyes are amazing, you need this, because when you start taking close-up photography, you'll start seeing things that your regular eye doesn't see. So I've had these optivisors for a long time. Second thing here, we've got my artist oils. You don't need a lot. Rick Lawler, I don't know if you've checked out his channel, great channel. We've been friends a long time. We've talked over the internet and called and each other a few times, but he sent me these a long time ago, and I've been using them, and that's why sometimes I don't tell you the names, because I don't even know what they are, because these have come off. But if you have blue, red, yellow, you can make a lot of colors. You need white, and black. And then, like I said, these colors, this one, as you can see, has been really used up, burnt umber. And there's this, which is, what is this one called? Light rust brown. It's kind of a sienna. I don't really use these as much, but I have them here, and just so I can tell you, this is a basic earth. Here's another darkish brown. I'm just gonna say it's like a Van Dyke brown or something. Like I said, I don't have the the covers anymore, and this is a light beige color. So that's all I use. I've got these out here, so with all these I can make pretty much any color I want. If you don't understand about mixing colors, I would get yourself a color wheel. You can get color wheels at art stores online. They're cheap, and they show you basically with a wheel how to turn and what each color will make if you mix them together. So over time I've learned, and plus being an artist, I've learned how to do this stuff. So then I've got my terpenoid here. As I said, my oil's here, and I put it on this just to soak up a little bit of the linseed oil, even though these don't have a lot. And I'm going to get myself a piece of plastic to transfer some of the colors over to when I want, if I need to thin them more. I'll have that here as well. So what I'm going to do first is paint the faces, and then I'll start detail painting. On this guy, I still have to do the little teeny lines that go on the splinter pattern. I'm waiting, I think, sometimes a little bit later, because I'm going to do oils for those, because the oils don't dry right away, so it's easier to keep a very fine line with a 000 brush. And I'm going to do that probably last, because I still want to tone this camo a little bit. And I've got the weapons over here to paint, and this weapon's going to be painted right on this figure. I put a little bit of photo etch. I don't know if you can see it. I put a little photo etch piece on the rifle here, on each rifle, on these G43s, so I can put a sling in there. I just found a piece of photo etched in my spare photo etch parts, and that's what I did on both of those. You look at Calvin Tan's straps and the way he does his, they're just amazing. I don't know, I can't get that small. I'd have to be the size of these guys to do it. So I'm gonna do my best on that. So let's get at it and finish these three guys. All right, let's go over what I've done so far. I painted the faces, and as you can see, a lot of mixing to get these faces. It's just subtle effects you can do with artist oils, and I apply them very lightly and I smooth everything out. You don't have any lumps or anything. It would have been a lot better if I would have painted, airbrush the faces like a light flesh color in acrylics first, because I'm spreading the paint so thin that underneath shows through, so the black and white is not the best. It works better with acrylics, but not with oil. So an undercoat of flesh would have been better, like I did on the ones in the Panzer Shrek building video. But yeah, I mean, they look good. There's good tones on them. 5 o'clock shadow, that was mixed up for the 5 o'clock shadow. A little bit of blue and black. And then what I did for the camouflage smock, I was looking at the photos, and it's got really a very kind of yellowish tinge to the. So what I did is I mixed up a wash here of that color right there with a little yellow, and I just put on a wash over the whole Zeblon, and it just changed the color, and I really like the tone it's got now. So I still got to add those little splinter lines, and now I've got to paint the details like the cartridge belts, the suspenders. There's a few other details here. Let's see on this guy. Got to paint the canteen, which I'm gonna do in oils, and like all his strapping, his rifle. And I'm just gonna highlight the cartridge pouches, and to me has got some decals I'll put on for the eagle on the tunic top. And like I said, I'm going to have to add those straps. But it's coming along pretty good, and let's see how far I can get this next session, and we'll hopefully finish it up here. All right, that's it. I got to take a break. This is very tedious work. And I tell you, look, you've got to get a color wheel if you don't understand mixing colors. It's something I've just acquired over the years, a lot of years of it. But here we've got this guy. Still got to do the splinter stuff, but I've did a lot of little detail painting on him, and he's just about finished. Got to add the rifle, got to paint that. Let's see. Okay. This guy's really cool. So a lot of the oils there I used mixed up for the canteen, and I lightened up a black color to like a gray to highlight the strapping, and then there's some leather strapping also. And you can see I started painting the rifle. Got to do the sling. It's just a lot of steps, a lot of work. There's a lot of work in these. It really is. And had to put the helmets on these guys. Some of the insignia. So yeah, it's getting there though. And hopefully next session when I start painting I can finish them. I don't know. It's probably going to be about 2 more sessions. So I'll cover this up so it doesn't dry up, and I'll get back to it later. All right, this guy is almost done, except I'm going to add the decals for the eagle on his tunic and the shoulder epaulets. So yeah, I mean the strap there, I made it out of paper, and just with some artist oil that was thinned down, I just dyed the white paper the color I wanted it. But yeah, I'm really happy with this guy. See how close I can get. If I can get real close here. And yeah, I think he's ready to go onto the scene. Once I put the decals, so that's all I've got left to the other 2 guys. This one, I added the rifle. What a pain. I scraped up the paint on his hand a little bit. What little paint was on the rifle. But I finally got it in there. So I just got to add the strap. I need to add the little splinter lines on the splinter camouflage. And then on the helmet cover. And yeah, this guy's about done. So I'm pretty happy with it. They're coming out pretty good. These are not the easiest figures to paint. The detail is great, but small. So, all right, let's finish it up. All right, here it is, finally finished. This one took a while, and the longest part, it felt like, was painting the figures. They were fairly tedious, as I mentioned before, due to this very, very faint, small detail on them, which is really nice, but it's hard to paint. I feel I could have done a little bit better in the painting, but it's I think a good job for what it is, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I added the Panzerfaust here. It's a fine little thing. He put it down next to him. But yeah, it's really rewarding once you finish them and see it all done from concept to finish, and watching these videos makes it even more interesting. So that being said, if you have any questions or comments you'd like to leave, please do. I'll answer any questions no matter how detailed they are. I'd love to help people out if I can. I've been doing this a long time, so and I'm still learning. And the best thing about like artwork, because this is artwork, is I could give any modelers, 10, 20 modelers, the same exact kit, the same paints, same weathering products, and tell them build something. And every one of them would come out a little different, even with the same exact paints and materials. And I think that's what's really cool about this hobby and art in general, is that everybody's comes out different, and there's something to learn from everyone's work. And that's what I've done over the years. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's helpful. And thanks for watching. And I'm working on some more stuff. So stay tuned, please.